a good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And we got my buddy back here tonight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're
After
doing our Week 6 review of the
yeah,
Week 6 football season. We started a preview show a couple weeks back, and somebody was MIA this morning for our preview show. Would you like to tell our audience where you went, sir?
listen, I missed the show. My apologies. But I had a beautiful train ride through Bucks County, PA, the fall foliage on New Hope Railroad. It was wonderful. So I'm ready. I missed the first half of the early games, but I was back in time for halftime. It can't be all football. Most of
I'm
the time it's
I'm gonna
football.
ask you a question.
But
Let me ask you a question. And I know this. I kind of know the answer, but I want to hear it out your mouth. Is this the first time that you've ever done an outside activity during football season in a long time?
it's a long time. Now I'm gonna give y'all a little hint and don't revoke my card. When Emmitt Smith broke the all-time rushing record against Seattle, Cowboys Seattle, I was on the date. I was trying to watch from a restaurant. I miss Emmitt Smith becoming an all-time leader rusher. Now I recorded it and watched it later, but it was a bad. I went on a date. So sometimes it can't be all football. Today I had a beautiful. I love the fall. One thing you need to know about me, I love the fall, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah,
But enough about me.
I
Let
got
let
this. I got this
let's get
hoodie
into
on,
it.
but you got this nice sweater on
I got
with
the
the
nice
fall
little, I got the
colors.
little claw colors, and got the neck covered up. You got to be versatile.
Hey,
You
I,
got to
I
mix
know
it up.
one thing. Winter is definitely coming. I was out earlier, and I said,
Listen,
"Whoa!"
I went out. I had to have a bubble vest, Tim's on, and chapstick ready. I had to use the remote starter this morning. It was
And I know,
34 degrees.
and I know Friday you was doing the sticks in that rain. We didn't even get a chance to talk about
Listen,
that.
Friday, I was on the job, man. They thought I was a hazmat dude. That's what they said to me. They was like, "Look, you look like you hazmat." Listen, COVID is real. No disrespect to the Ridge football team because they beat my beloved Farmers, but I don't know if they had COVID or not. So I was covered in head to toe. I had an N95 mask on. I had two pair of gloves on. I was ready. I was prepared. But enough about me. I thank my wonderful host here for holding me down, and Patrick Sills this morning for holding me down. But I'm back, baby, and it's
Yeah,
time to go.
yeah. After we talked on the phone, you would be very proud of me. And I didn't tell you this when we were just behind the scenes, but when I got up just now, I registered to vote, sir.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
I, I,
yes,
I, I actually was pushing it back, and I know that tomorrow's the last day. So,
yeah.
and
Well,
the reason why is because for those that don't know, I had moved, so I
right.
never registered when I moved.
Well, I'm
And
glad you registered. And
yeah,
there was a lot of activity in New Hope today. There was actually, well, I won't say what it was. There was a rally. Let me just say it was a rally. And it was very interesting for where I was to see the rally that took place. We'll just leave it at that. It was a very interesting day. And now we ready to talk this football, man.
we're going first game. We're gonna talk
Can I
about.
pick the first game, please?
Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Listen, America, look at me. Derrick Henry is a stud. Hey, listen, I love 21. Everybody know it. I love Zeke. Feed me, Zeke. Man, Derrick Henry, the best running back in the league, man. You just don't do what this big guy does, man. Um, I thought the Texans was going to win this game. When I got in from my beautiful Odyssey today, I said, whoa, look at this score. Man, you know what? Feed Derrick Henry. Feed him some more. The game winning touchdown in overtime, they even went into a wildcat. Direct snap. And you remember how Chris Berman used to make those noises when Chris Okoye, yeah. There you go. That's what I was thinking when I saw Derrick Henry on that last run. Hey man, Titans are still undefeated. Hey, listen, it's time that the NFL and fans start giving Mike Rabel credit for what that Tennessee team has gone through with the COVID. And they just play when? They play what? Tuesday?
Tuesday,
After 1 week of practice, they played Tuesday, right? So
so they
you know
probably have
they
one day
so
of
you know
practice, a
they ain't
walkthrough.
practice Wednesday. Okay. Thursday was probably light. Their hardest practice was probably Friday. So they probably had one more hard practice. and they
Me,
won
me,
another game.
me and Pat talked about them. I had a feeling it was going to be a little close because of that division rival thing.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna just say this about them: that 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 as NFL fans, we gotta always be careful when we think that players are busts. I
mhm.
mean, because a guy don't fan out and he may not have a career, don't think it's because he didn't have the talent.
Right.
Because anybody that looks at Ryan Tannehill now, compared to when he was with that guy who should not be a coach in the
Thank
NFL,
you. And you took the
he's a
words right out of my mouth.
totally different player.
I think that
Vrabel,
guy was going to come
Vrabel,
back.
Vrabel has matched him with his skill set. And remember, folks, Matt Lafleur was their offensive coordinator 2 years
Yes.
ago.
Yes.
So you could see how, even though Tannehill wasn't there, but Tannehill got there. You could see how Tannehill in that play action game. Um, for those of us that was kids in the '80s that remember smash mouth football, play good
Yes.
defense, the Tennessee Titans is the type of team. I don't care who you are. This is the type of team that you root for because they remind you of just play great defense
Mhm.
and run the football.
And this is what I'll say about that because it's another great point by you, right? So this is a passing league. Everybody knows it, throwing the ball all over the place. But if you look at the playoff teams from last year, the teams that had success in the playoffs knew how to run the football, man. Look it up. A lot of teams that was leading the league in rushing, team wise, top rushing teams that made the playoffs, man. But kudos to the Titans, man. Kudos to Danny Taylor and Twin Green. Those two biggest Titan fans I know. And I want my man Corey Davis to get back soon. Row the boat.
And I'm gonna start
8-4, I
trouble.
love you, 8-4.
I'm
You
gonna
my
start
man.
trouble. I'm gonna start trouble with Danny Taylor right now. Is Derrick Henry better than Eddie George?
Ooh, we're gonna have to sidebar that with him later.
Because
That's a
I'm telling
great
you,
question.
when Derrick Henry get to the outside, forget that how
Man,
big
come on.
he is.
Come on.
He
Let me
is fast, y'all.
but
He
let me ask you a question. Honestly. I'm not gonna go all Xavier Woods on you, but do you think a corner want to see that man turn in the corner? Running full speed at them? I don't know many corners
you
that's
may
gonna take him
you
head
may
up.
you may get
They're
hurt
gonna
hitting
make
him
a
low.
business decision.
You may
They
get hurt
gonna
hitting him low.
yeah, they gonna make a business decision. I guarantee.
But it's funny because I remember last year when we were talking about Tennessee and we had our other partner brother Walker with us
Hmm.
and this was the time that Lewin had a bad game.
Yeah.
And Lewin stood in front of that media. Offensive lineman stood in front of the media and took the loss and said, "It's on me. I played like crap."
Hmm.
And this is what happens when you have an organization from the owner down to the ball boy who's willing to be accountable for their
And
actions.
listen, there's nothing like a Michigan man. And
Yeah,
Big T from
and
Michigan.
and as Dwayne always says, and we always remind each other, it all even though Tennessee has the talent and they've been in the playoffs the last 4 years, it all changed when that Stayful came over from the Rams. So
Yes, it
if you
did.
guys really understand interior linemen, they're vital because when he left
Vital.
the Rams was hurting and it solidified Tennessee line, and Tennessee line is a problem right now.
Absolutely. What we
It's
got
funny. I
next?
I was gonna pick that game, but the next one is another one of your young guns who lost unfortunately because of this coach once again. The Bengals and the Colts.
Man, let me tell you something. I watched this game. Like I said, when I got home, this game was just kicking off. Man, what a good game it turned out to be, man. You see that Joe Burrow's going to be a good pro quarterback. You could see it. Phillip Rivers, the old man, just keeps kicking along. Matt Eberflus, you know how we feel about him. It was a really, really good game, and I put the Demo Jinx on Burrow. I was talking to my boy Joe Rizzo. Shout out Joe Rizzo. I was talking to him while the game was going on, and I said, "Man, I got a feeling Joe Burrow's going to bring a big comeback." And 2 seconds later, he threw the interception. So the Demo Jinx, I jinxed somebody again. But hey, man, I agree that coach is leaves a lot to be desired. I know it's only his second year. That man has Joe Mixon and Giovanni Bernard. He got to start using that run game to help Joe Burrow out.
Yeah, yeah. And even I've seen a couple plays where they don't really go to AJ Green. It
Yeah.
might be time. It might be time to get AJ Green. And it's not like AJ
Well,
Green's a bad player, but I'm telling you, get him up out of here and get some assets
yeah,
where you
but you heard
can.
what he said this week, which was very surprising to me. He said he did not want to leave Cincinnati. That's the first time I heard AJ Green say something like that.
Mm, mm. Next game we going the Falcons, man, and the Vikings.
Irvington's
Raheem
own, Irvington's
Raheem
own,
Morris.
Irvington's own, the Blue Knights. Stand up, Irvington. Blue Knights. Raheem Morris did it, bro. And listen, they played inspired. They look different. Hey, man, sometimes a coach has to go, man. I don't want to see people get fired, but sometimes a coach got to go. Looked like the Falcons had a new voice, new energy. And shout out to Raheem Morris. Hey, man, I hope he does well enough to keep the job.
Yeah, he might be a better situation than when he was down in Tampa.
But what
Um,
about our boy, Q?
the Vikings. It
Yeah,
might
what
be time for
about?
Zimmer. Might be time for
Oh,
Zimmer
that's
to be
my boy.
gone, man.
Hey, listen, if he is, right, if they get rid of Mike Zimmer, buy Mike Nolan, bring
It
Zim
might
back.
it might be time. It might be time for Zimmer to move on. I think they shot their load. I think the
Yeah.
organization. Once you got my cousin Kirk Cousins, for some reason I
You
think
like that?
it hurt the team a lot. I mean, they not re-signing Griffin, um, the erosion of last year and the 2 years before that of Xavier Rhodes. Well, we don't even know where he at right now.
Right.
I mean, and it's just Minnesota, and then getting rid of Stephon Diggs has really hurt
Yeah,
Thielen.
really
So
hurt. Really hurt.
they the Vikings
And
might
I
as well
mean,
just start.
listen, I mean, it's a big year for rookie wide receivers. And I think Justin Jefferson is going to be good, but it's hard. I think wide receiver is the hardest position to come in from the
Yeah,
college and play and be successful in pro. Now, listen,
yeah.
Chase
Not the way
Claypool,
Claypool is
Chase
getting luck.
Claypool is proving me wrong, and that man number 88 in Dallas is proving me wrong. But usually rookie receivers struggle, and you can't lose somebody like Stephon Diggs, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that mean Thielen is not a number one? Hmm. Hmm.
Exposed.
Could be exposed.
Our next game was the surprising game of the day. The Broncos and the Patriots.
You know, I didn't see any of this game. I saw the score, and I felt like, man, I want to watch it. I kind of felt like that Notre Dame Louisville game last night that ended 12-7. Kind of wanted to watch it, but when I saw that score flash, I was like, listen, I like defense just as much as the next man, but defensive football games are not very appealing, not very pleasing to the eye, and they can get ugly. But hey, man, give the Broncos credit, man. They won a game, and they won a game in New England. I mean, Drew Lock was terrible, so it wasn't anything he did. He was 10 of 24 for 189 yards and two interceptions. Cam Newton was worse.
Yeah,
17 to 25 for 157 and two interceptions. So they set quarterback play back light years. And also the leading rusher for the Patriots was Cam Newton. 10 carries, 76 yards. So you have that, man. So it was just an ugly game. It was just
yeah.
an
Just
ugly game.
weird game.
It
The,
was all field goals.
the
Do you realize that there was only one touchdown scored in that game?
wow.
One. And it was by the losing team. Every other point in that game was field goals. Brandon McManus, I hope he got a good ice bath. That man for the Broncos scored all 8 points. That
The
man
next
get
the next game is it's an
yeah.
NFC East game. The next game, the Washington football team played the New York Football Giants,
Listen,
and a lot of a lot of
the
Washington football
Washington
team
football team.
are fans are upset that Riverboat Ron would do. Like, this is how this man got
Say
the nickname Riverboat Ron.
say it again. What's his nickname?
Riverboat Ron.
Have you not been paying attention to Washington football fans? This man always goes for the win. He never wants to play for overtime. Um, you're home, right? You're at home. Or was that in New
So
York?
they was on the road,
They're on the road. They're
but
on the road.
basically he said the next coming weeks
Bad
is
job
winnable
by me.
games.
Yeah, that's a bad job by me. I should have known they were on the road. So I guess well, listen, I'll give you a little insight real quick. I'm gonna tell you a story from my days as a Pop Warner coach. I was in the regional playoffs against Kirk Parker team in Syracuse. They was kind of handling us all game, right? We fought. I said to my coaches, we got the ball at our own 5-yard line. I said, listen, fellas, we're down 7. No. What were we down? Yeah, we were down 7. I said, fellas, if we go 95 yards and score here, I'm going for the win because I don't want to go to overtime with this team. I don't know if we can hold up in overtime. So we went 95 yards. So then they looked at me. I said, what did I say before this drive? We going for the win. I ain't have any timeouts left, and I didn't notice till it was too late that I had 10 men on the field. And then Pop Warner, when you kick, you get 2. Ball sounded wonderful off my kicker's foot. I was like, yeah. And then Superman came from the right side where I didn't have a wing and blocked it. And we lost in the regional playoff. But I don't regret it. So I say all that to say I don't have a problem with Riverboat Ron going for the win there. I'd rather go for the win. You're never going to have a better opportunity in overtime to win that game. That was your best time to win that game. You're a 1-4 team. You're not really going anywhere. I hate to say it like that. And it's 1-4 versus 0-5, and you win for it. Kudos to the Giants.
I think going for 2 is part of him changing the culture. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to make them a tougher team moving forward. It's going to let them know that, look, man, Coach got our back, man. Coach going to tell us, Coach going to put us in position to win. Mm-hmm. I mean, so many teams in the NFL play by the book and stick to the analytics, but at the end of the day, you see why he's Riverboat Ron.
Absolutely.
The next game involved an NFC East team playing against the Baltimore Ravens. And I see that the Eagles made it close at the end, but this really wasn't close.
Well, that's my question to you. Do we give credit for the Eagles for fighting back, or do we think the Ravens took their foot off the gas?
It's a little bit of both because I think the Eagles did the same thing last week against the Steelers when I watched them. The Eagles are just not starting well. The first half of their games this year have been bad football. Carson Wentz has regressed. I mean, I know that he doesn't have quote-unquote great receivers like last year, even before them guys started getting hurt. But at the end of the day, a franchise quarterback should be using those tight ends. Mm-hmm. They just started realizing they got a running back in the backfield for some strange reason. But Carson Wentz, I'm quite sure the Eagle fans that I know is not happy right now with him.
Well, listen, we talked about that during the game, and don't think this is cowboy hate because one thing we always promise you is that we're going to put that to the side when we do these shows. Wentz was 21 of 40, man, for 213 yards. He's not getting it done, man. I'm sorry. He's not getting it done, and is one of the top of the reasons that this team is 1-4-1. He's a better quarterback than this. Listen to me. Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than the way he's playing. Now, I can make all excuses in the world, right? I can say his offensive line. I can say his receivers. But I'm going to tell you this. There's no team that's more hurt than the team with the star in their helmet, and I don't make excuses for them. So this is the NFL, which means the next person got to step up. And right now, Carson Wentz is giving you 1-4-1. It's not good enough.
I really don't have not much to say about it. I'm just going to move on to the next game. Mm-hmm. The next game is a team that I thought was good. I think they got the talent, but the quarterback is not who we think he is. He is not as good as, and it is the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Listen, man.
Baker Mayfield is not good.
This game hurt my heart. Okay? Again, if there was anything I was worried about missing today, I wasn't worried about missing a lot because I had a great day. But if there was anything that I was a little worried about, it would have been what I thought was going to be the best game of the week. And the Browns laid an egg, and Baker Mayfield is just not that good.
Just not
he got
that
all
good.
the weapons in the world, man. Come on, man. You got Njoku. You got Landry. Okay, you got Beckham Jr. You got Donovan People-Jones. You got Kareem Hunt. Come on, man. You got too many weapons to be putting up that type of performance.
He's just not that good. One thing that teams are doing is they're doing they're clogging his passing lanes because he's short.
Mhm.
He's just not that good, and without Chubb playing today, the Steelers is basically just packed up the front of the line and
Mhm.
stopped the run, and they blitzed. And folks, Steelers defense is back. I know that
Uh,
that other corner could be tested, and Hayden gets a little shaky every now and then. But the Steelers front seven, they are fast and they apply a lot of pressure. I don't know what's the status with Bush's injury today.
it's not
'Cause,
good, bro. It's not good,
oh,
and that's why I was a little disappointed. You know, I'm a Michigan fan, and I love Devin Bush for a long time. Um, ACL, man, season done.
oh,
Season done. The one thing about 2020, COVID's number one, injuries is 1A, man, and we are losing stars. Every week we losing stars, and Devin Bush, don't make a mistake. 5'5" is a star, and it's tough when you see stars leave here,
even
man.
on the play he got hurt when I was watching it. He zeroed in on that running back and he keyed him
He
up.
different. D.
He
Bush is
keyed
different,
he keyed
man.
him up, and it's really sad when you think about it with the Steelers with middle linebacker because I'm telling you, if Bush, we all know why they drafted Bush, but if they'd have been able to have Bush and Shazier, their linebackers probably would have been the fastest linebackers in the NFL.
Crazy to even think
Um,
about it.
so the Steelers, hopefully they could try to replace him. Not the talent, but you could always say you
Right.
next man up. But that's definitely a big injury. One game which I thought was interesting was the Bears and the Panthers.
Very interesting game.
Me and
Watch the
Pat
second
talked
half.
about it.
Yeah,
And the Bears, like I said, the Bears, and even Pat said this, the Bears have a defense.
they do.
But the key to a defense is getting them turnovers, and I seen today they got some turnovers, and that's key. That's you can have a defense that's low scoring, that's solid, but when you start getting them turnovers, you start in the plus category where it start becoming like 15,
Mhm.
17, stuff like that. That turns the average defense to something historical. So
Yeah,
the
I
the
hate to put this on somebody, right? I hate it. And I'm a Teddy Bridgewater fan. I love Teddy B. But he's a game manager, man. He's not a difference maker at quarterback. He's a game manager. Now, 5-1 is 5-1. So you give the Bears credit, right? They're 5-1. So I give Matt Nagy credit. But I give more credit to Matt Rule. When you look at this roster and you have no Christian McCaffrey, and this man got this team at 3-3, he's doing a hell of a coaching job, man. And they in every game, they're well coached, they're disciplined. Hey, man, Matt Rule's 3-3, man.
and I think a lot of people don't know unless you're a Carolina fan, they might not even remember that Luke Kuechly retired. So
Yeah.
he's not. It's not like he's down there. I know sometimes put players in the NFL, if that's not your team or in your division, we sometimes forget that players leave. They are doing an amazing job. They lost a lot of players on their defense. Their defense is young. So
And I'm big on culture. Culture is everything to me. And he's building the right culture in Carolina. If you're a Panther fan, man, be happy you got Matt Rule.
next game we're gonna do is your buddy Matt Patricia done pulled it out there.
Matt Patricia is now 11-26-1.
Matt Patricia has pulled out the hat. I can't even say anything about the game. Me and Pat was talking, and Pat actually said it before I could say it. We thought the Lions was going to lose, and maybe Matt Stafford would have been the player on the block moving forward.
You know,
But
I was happy, you know, week one I felt sick for the rookie running back from Detroit, Deontay Swift, because he dropped that short touchdown that would have won them the game. But today he showed who he is, man. Swift is Swift. Yeah, I meant that pun. Swift is Swift, man. And 14 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns today. And I think one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL is Galladay. And once again, he just produces for the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions. They just. I don't think Matt's the good. I just think they need to really gut the team, and
Uh,
with a visionary coach. I think the pencil, the sleeves up, the act is old.
it is old.
Because whenever you have any confidence in thinking they're gonna come up with a big win, they're not gonna do it.
They're not gonna do it. And Jacksonville's 1-5, and that still don't get you. That still don't get you Trevor Lawrence, which leads
Because
us into this next abomination of a game. Now you know me and Q, we're Flores guys, through and through. But for the New York Jets to allow this clown, Adam Gase, to remain the head coach of this organization is the biggest crock in the world. And I know Woody Johnson.
do you think he got secret tapes on somebody?
Well, I think what it is Woody Johnson is off being an ambassador of Ireland or whatever the hell he is an ambassador of, and his brother Chris Johnson don't know what he's doing. This man needs to be fired. He should have been the first coach to go. The New York Jets are a laughing stock. This man got rid of Jamal Adams for a bag of balls.
One of the things, for those in the chat that don't know, is that me and Dwayne are avid sports radio listeners. We because of the radio.com app, we're allowed to listen to our teams. We both Cowboy fans, so we don't listen to the local stations in New York like we used to, the ESPN radio local or the WFAN like we used to. But I can only imagine what New York radio is. New York radio is,
Listen,
like what are they talking about now? Pitchers and catchers coming back in February?
Ira from Staten Island must be drinking every night, man. Being a Jet fan.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for the guy, our buddy Joe Badingo, man.
Yeah, man. Him and Evan Roberts, man. It's like you sit here and you're a fan of this team, man. I feel bad for my man Sam Mickens. I feel bad for
my brother Paul. He's a Jets fan.
I feel bad for Paul. I feel bad for our classmate Donna Turner. I feel bad for Michelle Lewis. I feel bad for all these Jet fans. I feel bad for you. But with this clown, you won't win a game this year. You will go on with 16. There's nobody this clown could beat. And watch when I tell you, when y'all got to face Kansas City in a couple of weeks, Lev Bell going to eat y'all asses up.
Because Andy Reid is going to allow him and put him in a position to embarrass him.
He's going to eat y'all ass up.
He's going to give L. Bell.
I hope he catches something in flat. And when he's running down the sideline towards the touchdown, I hope he point at Adam Gase.
He's gonna get about 15 carries and about 8 or 9 passes out the backfield. Because trust me, Andy Reid is gonna try to embarrass Gates.
And that's all we need to say about that game.
The next game is the Buccaneers and the Packers. Weird game.
It was a weird game, and it all turned. Packers were up 10-0, and that bad man Aaron threw that bad pick six.
Yeah.
Then he threw another pick, which led to a quick touchdown. And then the floodgates opened. Let me tell you something. Sue started getting into him. Sue started talking crap to him. Then JPP, yes, he still plays in the NFL. He was coming off the edge, making sacks. And one of the most underrated, I'm sorry, I just saw the Braves score. I apologize. And one of the most underrated defensive players in the NFL is that linebacker for Tampa Bay, Levante Davis. I may have said his first name wrong. But that Davis, he's the most underrated defensive player in the NFL.
He's a problem.
He's a big problem. But, hey, Tom Brady, Tom Brady was Tom Brady. Starting to get Gronk involved. Ronald Jones III was running the ball really hard. And Brady always gets those little engines that could wide receivers. Wes Welker, Danny Edelman, Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, and now this goddamn Scotty Miller. I didn't even know who the hell Scotty Miller was before this season.
I don't.
Did you know who he was?
No, no.
I'm
But
like, who does number 10?
I
Cole
think this
Beasley?
loss was as it was more of a win for the Bucks than a loss for the Packers. I don't think the Packers hurt by this loss. I think this kind of like reset what they're trying to do. I think the Bucks really needed a win because the Bucks have been struggling. Definitely what they did up in
Right.
Chicago last week. So just a good win for the Bucks, and it pushed them right back in a position to them and the Saints to battle in that division. And I'm telling you, ain't nobody running away with these divisions. And it might be a long stretch, and people might be like, you crazy, but Atlanta could score.
They can.
And when you
You still got Matty Ice,
yeah,
Gates Jr., Ridley, Julio Jones, and Todd Gurley over there. They
we
just
got
need
time.
defense.
We did a quick review on yesterday, a preview on tomorrow's games. But if you want, we could go over the Rams 49ers. I mean,
Hey,
big game for the 49ers.
Gotta be a must win for the 49ers.
This has got to, yeah.
Gotta be a must win, and that's not a stretch.
Right now, before Anthony had dropped this morning, we were going to talk about Garoppolo. This is like a career game for him because
yes, it is.
This might.
You know what I can see? You know what I can see the 49ers doing? Really? I think the 49ers may be that team that works to deal with the Jets in the offseason. If the Jets are online to get Trevor Lawrence, I can see Sam Darnold going back out on the West Coast and playing for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Jets pick up some second rounders for Sam
Darnold.
And
it'll help their salary cap in San Fran because they'll get rid of Garoppolo.
Yeah. Now look out for that, folks. You heard it here first. I'm thinking the 49ers need to call the Jets if the Jets are in line, which they will be because they won't win a game. Mark that down. Today is October 18th. The Jets will not win. Sorry, Jet fans.
So how about that? What do you? So we both think that the Rams going to win tonight.
I like the Rams tonight.
So what do you think about tomorrow with your steak and potatoes, that Kansas City Buffalo game?
Man, listen, I am very excited about tomorrow night. I think, as I said to my brother Q last week, I would love to see, and I know it's not going to happen, I would love to see the NFL do away with Thursday night football and give us doubleheader Monday night games. I think it's a win for them, man. And it's a win for the players too because they hate Thursday night games.
Yeah.
I say do away with Thursday night football and give us doubleheaders on.
Man, I think you got
Chiefs Bills as your happy hour. 5 o'clock.
One of the things, Dwayne, I think with COVID is we know a lot of these commissioners and leagues don't really like working together. But I think that these leagues going forward, even with not knowing when the NBA is going to restart and baseball, I think going forward that a lot of the schedule changes is going to be beneficial to the leagues, and it's actually going to help the league because, like we always discuss, that February is an open month for sports. It's like the precursor to March Madness. The NFL could always move the Super Bowl to that President's Day weekend, and because that's I always say, which a lot of people don't know, is that Monday after the Super Bowl was the most called out day of work of any day of the year. I wish they would
push it back. If they make the Super Bowl the day before President's Day. You know what I said to somebody too? I would like to see the NFL try it one time. Is do the Super Bowl on a Saturday night. There's no college football. You're giving them 2 weeks off between games anyway. Do that thing on a Saturday night. Could be a big ratings bonanza.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm excited for the Red Rifleman, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Listen, you're my QB1 now.
I'm gonna ask you a question back to Buffalo real quick. Don't you just wish those Buffalo fans could be there for this game?
You do. You want Bills Mafia there, jumping on burning tables and then all that. You want that, man. You want that.
Now on to the team that we both root for. All I can say is this, man. All I can say is this.
Fours up.
They're doing it for fours, man. It's all for fours.
Fours up for fours. But I'll say this. It's going to take 44 points to beat the Cardinals with that sieve of a defense we have.
One thing the
don't despair, Cowboy fans. I'm hearing 55 is back this week.
one thing that the Cardinals won't do though is amazing is the Cardinals probably won't run.
Mhm.
Somebody just said touchdown San Fran.
Already?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had Braves Dodgers on. I'm all on Game 7. I'm sorry. Let me. Oh yeah, touchdown San Fran. Yes.
So
Anthony
one
Otler may make an appearance on Facebook tonight.
that
Where's Coach
one thing about
Anthony?
the Cardinals is not going to try to do what is Dallas's weakness, and that is run at the defensive tackles. With the Cowboys is like I told Pat is it's funny for most Cowboy fans. It's a player that we've had on the roster for about 9 years that every Cowboy fan has said he's overrated. He never deserved to get paid. He's going to be in the starting lineup tomorrow, and he's always been reliable. Whenever he's healthy, he's reliable. He got 2 hip surgeries, and that's Tyrone
Yeah,
Crawford,
yeah.
and it's amazing because like if they could shore up, I have to say this came from Nate Newton. If they could shore up their defensive tackles, their defense is going to be 80% better.
Yeah.
That defense is leaky, and if your defense is leaky in the middle, folks, you could have a bad cornerback, aka Toast Elvis Patterson from back in the day.
Yes.
For
Remember him
those
43, if you
for
don't
those
know.
football historians, he played on probably the greatest defense ever, but he
It
was
was
toast.
terrible. He wore 43. See, we know our football. But let me
So
say this, man, as a Cowboy fan, and I know that I say we got a sieve of a defense, but reinforcements are coming, NFL. We get LVE this week. Next week, number 50's back. But guess who
50,
else is
50
back?
and 94.
Guess who else is back next week? 94, he gonna be looking like one Charles Haley coming off the
and,
edge
and an outside linebacker.
at an outside linebacker.
One, one
By
of
Everson Griffin, because I'm gonna have Alden Smith on one side and Randy Gregory on the other, and we gonna feast on quarterbacks. So enjoy this last week of our Civ defense against that damn Kyler Murray, man, who gonna do this in prime time. And listen, feed Zeke, use these wide receivers, the red rifle. I trust you, red rifle. Let's go
what
1-4.
I'd be
We're
remiss
doing it for four,
if
baby.
I
We're
didn't bring
doing it
this
for
up,
four.
Dwayne. Um, you have a former Cowboy defensive tackle that went out to Las Vegas and met with his former coach. If they don't sign him, he might come back, man. You never know, because the kid made Player of the Week off of 17 plays. He had 17 plays. He had two and a half sacks and a forced fumble, and was defensive player of the week. So I just want everybody to know David Irvin. He has flashes of brilliance. He's
Yeah,
six
he
five,
does. I think he's
defensive
gonna be.
tackle.
I think he's gonna be on the Raiders. I
So
think that's where he's gonna land, Las Vegas. Now, from a personal standpoint, that may not be the best place for him. Vegas, I don't know, but I think that's where he's gonna wind up.
with
Man, I
that,
like these Rams uniforms tonight. The Rams are wearing all blue. 49ers are wearing all white. But I'm gonna be honest with everyone. I will hardly be watching any football tonight. And I already got text by somebody earlier told me a despicable display, me taking a football Sunday
but
off to take train rides. Well, my Cowboys ain't play
but
today.
Dwayne, let me ask you a question. And we discussed it in the beginning of the series. You said it to me, and I act like I didn't hear you, but I heard you quite clearly.
Okay, I'm glad to hear this.
And I need you to say this because we're live, and this show is recorded, and it'll be here forever.
Once I put it on wax,
Who are
that's it.
you rooting for between the Braves and the Dodgers? Being a Met fan,
I'm gonna say the Dodgers, okay, because it's hard for me to root for a team that's in my own division. And the Dodgers have one of my favorite former Mets that I was so mad. And it's a theme here. I want you guys to hear the theme I'm going with. Jason Turner of the Dodgers. The redhead. We're going with redheads this weekend.
you know,
Turner tonight, Dalton
I,
tomorrow. The
I would have thought,
redheads.
I really knowing you, Dwayne, I would have thought you were going for the Dodgers because one of your favorite people in your life is Jackie
I
Robinson. So
love Jackie. I
I would
love
have thought you would
Jackie.
have said
I
you would have
love
said
Jackie. But as my father said, may he rest in peace, who was the biggest Jackie Robinson fan. Once the Dodgers went to LA and Jackie said, I ain't going, my father's allegiance didn't go either. He started rooting for that team that wear the blue and the orange, and he stuck me with that. Thanks, Dad. I love you. And thank you for my love for Jackie Robinson. And thank you, Dad, for my love of the Mets. So
with
let's
that
go Dodgers,
with
Mookie
that
Betts,
we're gonna
Jason
close the
Turner,
show.
and Anthony Otler. Come on, man. Hit us up. You up 7-0. Don't disappear on us.
Week
Tyrone's watching.
week 6 NFL 2020 review. We're gonna put a cap on this puppy. With that, everybody stay safe and stay blessed.
God bless.